Have you ever felt constantly tired, even after a full night's sleep? Or maybe your mind won't stop overthinking and small things irritate you more than they should? What if I told you? These could be warning signs of something deeper. Most people brush these feelings off, thinking it's just stress or a rough patch. But what if it's not? What if these small, everyday struggles are actually warning signs? Signals that your mind is sending, telling you that something isn't right? The scariest part is that depression doesn't always look like sadness. It doesn't always come with tears or isolation. Instead, it sneaks in quietly, hiding in places you wouldn't expect. Your energy, your thoughts, even your patience. It starts small. You wake up feeling tired, even after getting enough sleep. You lose interest in conversations. Your thoughts start getting heavier, and the things that once made you happy don't excite you anymore. Then, frustration creeps in, little things irritate you, your patience gets shorter, and before you know it, you're feeling disconnected. From others, and even from yourself. The worst part? Most people don't even notice it's happening. They assume it's just a bad week, maybe a stressful time in life. But over time, these unnoticed changes pile up. The exhaustion gets worse. The overthinking never stops. Everything feels like too much. And without realizing it, they've slipped into something far deeper than just stress. But here's the good news. You don't have to let it get that far. You don't have to wait until you feel completely lost. If you can recognize the signs early, you can take control before it gets worse. You can stop it before it takes over. That's why, in this video, I'm going to share 5 subtle but dangerous signs that could mean you're slipping into depression. Signs that most people ignore until it's too late. If even one of these sounds familiar, don't brush it off, because the sooner you see it, the sooner you can stop it. Let's move on the first sign, feeling tired all the time, even after resting. Have you ever woken up feeling just as exhausted as when you went to bed? No matter how much you sleep, you still feel drained, like your body just doesn't have enough energy to get through the day. You drink coffee, try to push through, but nothing really helps. Most people blame this on a busy schedule, a lack of sleep, or just general stress. But what if it's not just that? What if this constant exhaustion isn't coming from your body, but from your mind? One of the biggest warning signs of depression is feeling tired all the time, even after resting. It's not just physical fatigue, it's mental and emotional exhaustion. Your brain is constantly overworking itself, even when you're asleep. That's why, no matter how much rest you get, you still wake up feeling heavy, slow, and completely drained. Think about it. Have you ever had a day where you did nothing physically exhausting, yet by the evening, you felt like you ran a marathon? That's because your mind is carrying a weight you don't even realize. Depression affects your sleep cycles, making it harder for your brain to fully recharge. Even if you sleep for 8 hours, it doesn't feel like true rest. And here's the dangerous part. Most people ignore this. They assume they just need a little more sleep, or maybe another cup of coffee. But if this exhaustion has been following you for weeks, if it feels like no amount of rest can fix it, it's a sign you shouldn't ignore. So, what can you do? Start paying attention to your energy levels. If you're constantly waking up tired, even after proper rest, ask yourself, what's draining you? Because sometimes the real exhaustion isn't in your body, it's in your mind. The second sign is hopelessness about the future. Have you ever felt like the future doesn't really excite you anymore? Like, no matter what happens next, it just feels pointless? You used to have dreams, goals, and things you looked forward to, but now, it's like none of it really matters. This feeling, this quiet sense of hopelessness, is one of the biggest warning signs of depression. And the scary part? Most people don't even realize it's happening. It doesn't hit all at once. It creeps in slowly. One day, you stop making plans. Then, you stop setting goals. Eventually, you start feeling like nothing will ever change. So, why even try? Maybe you used to be excited about your future, a new job, a new relationship, or just the idea of getting better. But now, even thinking about the future feels exhausting. It's not that you don't care. It's that a part of you has started believing that nothing will get better. And that belief, that's what depression feeds on. Here's the truth. This feeling lies to you. Depression makes you think that your situation is permanent, that nothing will ever change. But the reality is, nothing in life stays the same forever. Just like bad times don't last, neither do these thoughts. If you've been feeling like there's no point in trying, don't ignore it. Start small. Set one tiny goal for yourself, even if it's as simple as getting out of bed at a certain time. Remind yourself that the future is still being written, and you have the power to change it. Let's talk about the third sign, that constant overthinking. Have you ever caught yourself stuck in an endless loop of thoughts? You replay conversations in your head, second-guess every decision, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't stop overthinking. It's like your brain is constantly running, but instead of finding solutions, it's only making you feel worse. Overthinking is one of the most overlooked signs of depression. It doesn't just mean thinking a lot, it means thinking in a way that traps you. Your mind keeps going in circles, analyzing things that already happened or haven't even happened yet. Instead of moving forward, you feel stuck, drowning in thoughts that don't seem to have an end. Maybe you made a small mistake at work, and now your mind won't let it go. Maybe you texted someone and they didn't reply right away. Suddenly, your brain convinces you they're upset with you. Even simple decisions like choosing what to wear or what to say feel exhausting. The problem is, overthinking doesn't solve anything. It only makes you feel more helpless. It's like quicksand. The more you struggle with your thoughts, the deeper you sink. But here's what you need to know. Not every thought deserves your attention. If you catch yourself spiraling, stop and ask, is this helping me, or is this just making me feel worse? Because most of the time, the things we overthink don't even matter a week later. If your mind feels like it's always racing, it's time to take back control. Move on and discuss the fourth sign, increased frustration over small things. Have you ever noticed yourself getting irritated over the smallest things? Maybe someone takes too long to reply to a message, traffic is a little worse than usual, or a minor inconvenience completely ruins your mood. You don't mean to overreact, but it feels like everything is frustrating you lately. This is one of the most surprising signs of depression, increased frustration over small things. Most people assume depression makes you feel only sad or empty, but in reality, it can also make you more short-tempered, impatient, and easily annoyed. You might snap at a friend for no reason, lose your patience over simple mistakes, or feel like every little thing is testing you. The worst part? After getting frustrated, you might feel guilty or wonder why you reacted that way in the first place. It becomes a cycle, one that leaves you drained and emotionally exhausted. But why does this happen? When your mind is already carrying so much, even small annoyances feel like too much to handle. Your brain is already overwhelmed, so when something unexpected happens, no matter how small, it feels like the final straw. So, how do you stop this? Start paying attention to your triggers. When you feel frustration building, take a step back and breathe before reacting. Ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer is no. If you've been feeling like your patience is running out faster than ever, don't ignore it. Let's talk about last sign, which is increased negative. Have you ever noticed that no matter what happens, your mind always finds a way to focus on the negative? Even on good days, you catch yourself thinking, this won't last, or something will go wrong soon. It's like your brain is wired to expect the worst, even when there's no real reason to. This is one of the most damaging signs of depression. Your mind becomes a magnet for negative thoughts. It doesn't just affect how you see the world, it changes how you see yourself. You start doubting your worth, questioning your abilities, and convincing yourself that nothing you do is ever good enough. Maybe someone gives you a compliment, but instead of accepting it, you think, they're just being nice, they don't mean it. Maybe an opportunity comes your way, but instead of feeling excited, you think, what's the point? I'll probably fail anyway. This kind of thinking isn't just pessimism. It's your brain rewiring itself to focus on negativity. And the more you feed these thoughts, the more powerful they become. But here's something important. You don't have to believe everything your mind tells you. Thoughts are not facts. The next time you catch yourself thinking something negative, stop and ask, is this 100% true, or is my mind exaggerating? More often than not, you'll realize that these thoughts are just that, thoughts, not reality. If you've been trapped in a cycle of negativity, it's time to break free. But first, let's wrap up everything we've covered today, because recognizing these signs is just the beginning. If you've made it this far, then you're already taking the first step, awareness. You're not ignoring these signs, you're paying attention. And that means you have the power to take control before things get worse. Depression doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in, slowly changing the way you think, feel, and react to the world. But Just like it sneaks in, it can be stopped. The key is recognizing the signs early and not brushing them off as just stress or just a bad phase. If you've noticed even one or two of these signs in yourself, don't ignore them. Talk to someone, take small steps, prioritize your mental health, and remember, you're not alone. What you're feeling is real, but it doesn't have to define you. This is just the beginning. If you want more videos like this, ones that help you understand your mind, improve your mental health, and build a stronger mindset, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The next video might be exactly what you need. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in yourself or someone you know? Drop a comment below, and let's keep this conversation going. Take care of your mind, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.